Hello my friends, it's Sheree. How you doing today? Welcome to my channel Turquoise Dreaming. So glad you're here. I wanted to show you today some things I've been working on while during TV time, and also some things I've been doing to use up some scraps. So if you're wondering if my title says TV crafting is the same thing as mobile. Susan Hiles Art and I did a whole collab on mobile crafting. So it's something that I like to do and I call it TV crafting. And sometimes if I go on a trip or something, I'll take some crafty items with me so then becomes more mobile. But yeah, I just like to do something while I'm watching TV, and usually not just sit there and watch TV. So this is what I've been doing. I wanted to show you them during the last week. And this video is meant to give you ideas in case you're wondering what to do. And maybe you want to do something while you're watching TV, or maybe you want to know, an idea of something you can take along with you on a trip to, do a little crafting in your downtime. There's always some downtime in a trip, get back to the hotel or back to wherever you're staying, camper or whatever, and you want to do a little something, not just sit around. Even though you're sitting around, you keep your hands busy, type of thing. So what I've been doing, let me show you this one first. This is what I did first this past week. I did all of these in the last, I'm going to say, couple of weeks. So I don't think I showed you this yet. And I don't think, now that I'm showing it to you now, I won't show it to you in a upcoming Thrifty Thursday. But I got this little kit here. It came in this little box, and it's from Temu, and it was a little flower kit, like a little felt flower kit. Here's what it came with. Here's some green wire. What you're supposed to do is make some flowers, like felt flowers, and then the wire it's very stiff, and it's to make little stems, and then you stand them all up in a vase, and then you have your little felt flower bouquet. And I thought it was really cute, and I wanted to, what I wanted it for was just to make the flowers, not necessarily use the green wire. So I have this extra now, and I made them all the way I wanted to make them. And then, so I have some extra buttons. It came with a lot of buttons, so you can see here, just a lot of different colored buttons in there, pink, purples, like lilac, white, light blue, yellow, red, or different colors, shades of pink. So here's the flowers. I made them all. Let me dump them out so I can show you. So the flowers come in 2 layers. I don't know if you can see, but there's a purple one here, and then there's a yellow one on the back. They come like that. And then what they picture you doing in the picture is putting 2 buttons. Like there's this size, and then there's a smaller one. So what they say you're supposed to do, or what the picture shows, doesn't really come with instructions, but the picture shows 2 buttons, and I guess you're supposed to put the wire through here, and then you put the wire through, it holds the wire on, and then you have your little green wire stem. So I did some like this with I used the 2 layers of felt, left them together, and 1 button, and I used embroidery floss. So that's yellow embroidery floss to hold them together. I just put the embroidery floss on a needle, and see, it's flat on the back. So I went in from the top, went around, and I had my 2 ends out the top, and then I tied a knot in the top. I think that's really cute for buttons to have the knot on the top. Then you don't have that knot on the bottom. You can see how it's really flat on the bottom now, because it's just one thing of embroidery floss going through, and so it's nice and flat, and you can glue it down somewhere in a journal or whatever crafting you're doing. So I did a bunch like that just to show you 2 layers and 1 of the larger buttons. Here's one with some of the buttons, some of the flowers. In order to make up for the bulk of 2 buttons, they're easy to take apart, the 2 layers of the felt flower flowers. So I pulled, one layer off and just used one layer of the flower. This is a green one. And for those, I used mostly, I used 2 buttons. So you can see this bigger one and the smaller one, and then my embroidery floss again. I used the same embroidery floss on all of them. So that's pretty much what you have here. I'm trying to see if I did any of them different, but I didn't really try to match colors. I just think they're pretty with just kind of randomly putting the colors together. So that's what I did. I did that all in one night. I did these all in one night, I think it was. It didn't take very long, in other words. So now I have a bunch of flowers to use in my journals. I think they're really cute. And so here's more with the 2 layers if you want to see more of those. And I'm trying to see if I did any with 2 layers of flowers and 2 layers of buttons. I tried to remember to take them all apart as I was, because you're watching TV and sometimes you might not be thinking about what you're doing, so you might like do something a little different than what your plan is, but it all comes out good in the end. So anyway, you can see the kit comes with a lot of flowers, and I think it was, well, it wasn't very much. I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't very much, and I thought how fun to already have those flowers cut out for me so I can make a bunch of these flowers. And I also have all of this left now too, all the buttons here and the wire. So that was one thing. I did that last week. And then this week I also worked on another little kit, which I don't know if I've shown you. I showed you in a Thrifty Thursday. I just don't know if you've seen it yet. It might be in the upcoming one this week where I unbox these. So this was another craft kit from Temu. And it came with the beads. And it came with all the little bead parts you see here. And this jute twine. Okay. And then I added a little, I already had, the little bulb pins. I put that at the top. So you get the basic parts, but it's a little snowman. So even though it's not winter or I'm going to be doing Christmas in July. I actually meant to wait till next month, but I couldn't wait. I wanted to try these, and I needed something to do while I was watching TV. So I went ahead and did them all. All of these are snowmen. This is how many I made from the kit. And yeah, I just I doubled it up, the jute twine, and put it through. I didn't use a needle or anything. I was able to just put it through the beads. If I had trouble getting it through, as far as like I could get it poking through the top, but I couldn't grab it. What worked best was I had a long, thin toothpick. My husband bought this by mistake one time when he was buying toothpicks, and he couldn't find regular toothpicks. And they're meant for like hors d'oeuvres, where you poke it and you can pick up your hors d'oeuvre or something. I think they're like hors d'oeuvre toothpicks, but anyway, they're extra long and thin. So I was able to get that. I got one of those toothpicks, and I was able to poke it in there and pull my twine through. So you can use a pokey tool too. I actually have my pokey tool there, but I don't know, for some reason the toothpick worked better. But yeah, so these were easy to make. Like I said, I poked my jute twine through there. I tied a double knot on the bottom to keep it from coming off. And before I, cut it off here, made sure it was long enough and everything, I put my bulb pin through the top also to keep it from coming off the top, and also to be able to hang it from a journal or whatever I want to use it for, right? So isn't that cute? It's a little snowman. The hat is 2 pieces. That's a bead and a flat piece, and then there's 3 beads. So this many came with this set from Temu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was able to make 10 snowmen from that little bead kit from Temu. So it was fun. I did it all. I think I did all those I think it took me more than one night to do those. I don't know why. Just, it's a little tedious getting the thread through these. A little more tedious than the flowers. And I might have, I don't know. I don't know if I did it the whole time during both TV nights, but I think I did take 2 nights to get those done. And then one more thing. I just started this last night. I did all of these last night. Look at all this pretty paper. Isn't it gorgeous? So what I did was I have, some, the paper scrap packs that you can buy at Dollar Tree now. Before Dollar Tree had them, Walmart had them. So I had bought a few and I haven't done a lot. So this is one of those things I need to use that I haven't been using. So let me keep this here. And so it was a pretty good pack. This is what I have left from that scrap pack. Besides the little ones, there's little pieces like about over an inch thick, like an inch and a half thick of little pieces from the scrap pack that look like maybe business card size. Those are in the other room. I haven't, I'm not going to cut those. I'm going to do something with those. But in order to do something with these, I wanted to get them prepared. So I cut them all in half. I took my paper cutter in the other room. I have a little TV table that I work on. I set it up in front of the couch and I put my paper cutter, my paper. That's all I needed. I'm trying to think, I have a pair of scissors there because some of this paper is, I didn't take my sharpest. I didn't take this paper cutter here. I took my other little paper cutter in the other room. I wanted to try using that because this one's so big and it's like actually goes way over the top of my TV table, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I just want to try the other one and it worked. I just needed scissors once in a while to finish the cut, But the reason is this paper is in the paper packs. I don't know if you've gotten any, you know what I'm talking about, but they have different types of paper a lot of times. It's like almost like handmade paper and there's fibers and things, so it doesn't cut the same as a regular piece of like scrapbook paper or cardstock. So you need extra cutting power. So this is all of the little ones. I haven't cut any of these yet. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's like what I'm talking about, like the handmade paper. So yeah, that's one reason I like these paper packs because it's different types of paper than you would get in a scrapbook paper pad. Look at that. Gorgeous, right? I mean, yeah. So those are the smaller ones. I haven't cut these yet, the smaller squares. I'm going to cut these in half too. But I started by cutting the bigger ones in half. These are like 6 by 6. And see, this paper has like gold flecks in it. There was a lot of these white ones. And then the green ones here. They're like thin paper. But they also have that kind of handmade paper feel. I don't know if you can see, kind of like they're not regular paper. And then, just to show you some of the colors, this one's really kind of almost like tissue paper, but also a handmade paper feel. So, kind of can see it's not, and this one's got fibers in it. A lot of them have fibers in them, at least from this pack. This is blue, a darker blue, and has this kind of wrinkled finish on it. I mean, it looks like somebody wadded it up, and a lot of times they're two different colors too. And see how the blue is coming through on this side. Really interesting. Here's an off-white one. Oh, these I folded in half. I folded them in half like this and made a little crease so I could see where to cut. So I was getting these ready to cut. And then my TV time was over. So these will be done probably tonight. I'm doing this on Saturday, so tonight. And then by the time you see this video, these will be all done. And I'll have to look for more to do. But anyway, I did all of these in one night, last night. You can even see some of the fibers hanging off there. Can you see that? I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, all those things I just showed you. Look at that one. Now they're ready for me to do something with, instead of sitting in my crafty stash. Look at that one. That's another wrinkled one, but it's yellow. Now they're ready for me to do something with, so I can use them in my journals or whatever, I want to do with them. So anyway, you never know what I might do with these. Stay tuned to see what I'm going to do. And that's what I wanted to show you today. Oh, a couple more things. Sorry. Yeah, my title is going to say mobile crafting and using up scraps or something like that. So the other thing I did this week that wasn't a mobile craft, okay, to use up my scraps that I'm currently making for my, it feels so good actually to kind of like keep up with your scraps. Now I need to go back into my scraps and use the previous ones from previous projects that I have stashed in my crafty box. I mean my scrap box. But I kind of started a new thing where I'm using up my scraps as I go along. So in order to do that, I yesterday, which would have been Friday afternoon, when you see this video, like I said, it'll be Sunday. But I took all of the little strips and made some more of mine. I've shown you these before, but just to show you, in case you haven't seen it, or to show you that I am keeping up with it, you all can hold me accountable, right? So my little pieces that I end up with, and the longer pieces, I like all different sizes, because then you have options of, like, maybe you want to use the smaller ones for tabs. Of course, you can cut up the big longer ones, or you can use them as a whole piece. But I always use 3 pieces and just sew them together. And then you can always add things to them as you are, when in the future when I go to use these, or I put them in my journals. Whoever gets them can add to them, like little bits and pieces or stickers or whatever, flowers, butterflies, whatever you want to use, hearts, any kind of shapes or stickers or whatever you have in your crafty stash. There's another little small one, but I made all of those from my current project strips. Now I have some I need to go and finish from other projects that I put over there by my sewing machine, but that was a good amount yesterday that I got done, so I was glad to get that done. And I even used a couple here. I have this ephemera sitting here, or this one I had sitting here, this piece in my little basket that I'm using for my current journals. That's Tim Holtz ephemera right here. And I just, once you sew through it, you can glue it down on something and it looks like you sewed it on there, but I just used some Fabri-Tac and glued it on there. And look how cute that looks as a little topper now on this ephemera. Instead of just sticking this in a journal, you have that little topper on there. And it just brings it to, I think it brings it to a whole new level. You know what I mean? Simple thing, but, I just think it really adds something to it. And then what I did with the rest, see, that wasn't all I had. There's more. So here's some more strips. I didn't know what I was going to do when I sewed them together, but I separated. See how these are a little wider? They're not the little skinny strips like that I used in these. These are mostly the little skinnier ones, little skinnier ones I used here. And in the past, I haven't done this before in this way. In the past, I have made more strips, and maybe even if it was wide like this, if it was too wide, I would cut it in half and have 2 thinner ones. But this time I decided to separate all of the kind of thicker strips and sew them together. So I sewed them together and I ended up with this. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do with that? Am I going to cut it up? What am I going to do? See, they're all sewn in between. So I decided I folded it in half. I was like, that's a perfect size for a little booklet. So that's what I did. I added some of that. If you watch my Halloween journals where I'm making what am I making? Some ephemera, I think. But I had that paper that looked like old paper, but it's not. That's what this is. The paper that looks like old paper, but it's not old paper. But I used cut a piece of that and glued it on this side of it because, I don't know. I just wanted a solid backing over here, and then it covers all the threads over here, so it looks, and it gives it more, sturdiness. So I decided to, put that paper on there and make it into a little booklet. So I put some some of my grungy coffee dyed paper in here. So this is Halloween-y. It's got 2 pieces of Halloween in there, and the rest is kind of just neutral, except for this flowered one. And you can see just putting, they do match a little because of the neutrals, but then I threw that flowery one in there, and I think it looks really cool, kind of random, even though some of it was planned with the neutrals and with the rest of those. But then this is orange and white baker's twine, and it's 3 pamphlet stitch. And then I had this little piece too, these were some little thicker pieces, but they were smaller like this. And so I put those together in the same way, and I did the same thing, like, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to make a tag or a journaling card? And I thought, let me see what it looks like made into a little booklet. So again, that's what I did. The same paper lines the inside here, and there you go, another little booklet with my scrappy scraps, and sewn in. I did a 3 pamphlet stitch, and I had 2 more long pieces in the end. I had these 2 pieces left, and I thought, let me put them together, and so I made a big tag. I didn't put anything on the back, so somebody can do whatever, wherever I end up putting this, and whoever ends up getting it can do whatever they want back here. But again, just those 2 pieces. Then I added one of my little stitched pieces, like I showed you, as a topper there. And I think that is super cute and simple, but fun and cute, and you're using up your scraps. So this is just for inspiration. I'm not doing any crafting today, but I wanted to show you because I had so much fun doing these things, and I thought, we all love this type of thing, and I thought you would love it too. So yeah, thank you for watching today, and I hope this did inspire you. And if it did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Comment below. Let me know if you're going to do or you're already doing some of these things. If you have any questions, and make sure you're a subscriber. It's free, so hit that subscribe button and the bell there. And I really appreciate that, and it helps me and my channel. So thank you for watching today, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great day.